Well, welcome everybody. Welcome to what will be one of the busiest days on the channel. I don't think we'll have 4 videos most days of the spoiler season. I don't think I can keep up with that, but we will have a lot of videos coming out today. Make sure you're staying tuned to the channel. Lots of fun stuff. Today we're going to do a gameplay video with Arcbound Geek. We're also going to have a conversation with Ryan Rush, which is a huge player in the Pokemon world, like 40,000 people in their Facebook group. And we're going to talk about spoiler season. We're going to do a stream tonight. We're going to do a box opening today. It's going to be a busy day on the Kitchen Table TCG channel, but let's talk about spoilers. First off, I want to start off with this actually, that they put out an article, actually James White put out an article called Hidden Talents, which it gives us a ton of information about, I can't go in like that. It gives us a ton of information about the new setup and the new stuff, and you really need to go read this article because it's amazingly well written. I'm not going to do a good enough job explaining it. You need to go read this article. It's at fabtcg.com/articles and then Hidden Talents. But here's the kind of general gist of it. Basically, he talks about these hidden talents based on the location of each hero. And so like Shadow Brute or Shadow is now the location from the Demonastery. And that does not retroactively apply to other heroes. So like KO or Rhinar are still just regular brutes from the Savage Lands. And they're not from the Demonastery, which is now we have this new thing, which we'll talk about, which is the Shadow Brute hero that was just spoiled. So this does not mean that all brutes are now Shadow, is basically what they're saying. And it really, really lines up really coolly, really well with draft and sealed support. And so that's why it's really good. And this article just really talks about their vision for the game. And really, this is like, when I read this, I was like, all right, no more talking about Flesh and Blood in the top 4 TCGs. Like, this is going to be the #1 TCG. I have no doubt about it. I'm extremely biased, but this is going to be the #1 TCG in 5 years. I can't, like, their drive and their desire and their intentionality in creating this game is so much deeper than I even already thought. And it's amazing. So they talk about the idea of having region-specific talents, how to make a brute from somewhere else in Wraith, say the Demonastery, feel different to a brute from the Savage Lands, other than just the aesthetics, by giving them cards and mechanics that only heroes with that talent unique to the region can use. So this is like going to blow open the game. So you could have, like right now we are going to start, today we're going to talk about brutes from the Demonastery. But in 5 years, we could have brutes from Volcor. We could have brutes from Aria. We could have basically every single class now will eventually have a subclass. And that completely opens the door to gameplay. It's going to be, but it also allows you to have like your regular warrior Dorinthia still be really good and still play really well and still, you know, be able to keep your cards. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's fantastic. So Shadow Brutes can play with Brute cards and they can play with Shadow cards. But regular, but they can play with Shadow Brute actions as well. So I think we're still waiting to see if non, I might be wrong about this, but we are still waiting to see, like, can Dorinthia play with a light? I think based on these talents, no. But there's a lot more discussion that needs to happen on that. Let's get to the spoilers. We'll do another video kind of later on talking about the hidden talents as more and more stuff comes out about it. I think we'll get some more clarifying stuff. Make sure you go read the article. I could have missed something there, but the article is so good. It's going to be good. All right, let's talk. Let's get talking to the spoilers. I did want to say I put these over here. If you can see it right now, I put these. These are where the spoilers came from. Make sure you go kind of subscribe and like and look at their stuff on their channel. A lot of them did their own stuff and put that out there. So make sure you go there. I will do my best to say which each one came from. I think I can do all of them, but yeah, I think I can do all of them. I think I know the EU Facebook page. I'm not actually part of the EU Facebook page. So, all right, let's hop in and look at the amazing spoilers. All right, first off, we got Levia, Shadowborn, Abomination, and then we also have her young hero, which is just Levia, which this is, of course, the first Shadow Brute card. And this was spoiled by the Rad Brad, who has 12.5 million subscribers on YouTube, but is also just a really cool guy. I've been able to have some conversations with him over the last 2 or 3 months. He's just a really good guy, really friendly, a lot of fun to talk to, and really does just love the game. Like when he said in his video that he just kind of was playing the game with his friends and he asked LSS if he could spoil a card, like that's 100% true, and it's awesome to have somebody of his stature in our community, and it's going to be really good for the game. So Levia, this is what Levia does. She she's regular health, 40 or 20 depending on if you're playing Blitz or Constructed, and she's got 4, she draws 4 cards. I do think we'll see another card eventually this week or this month or whatever that draws more cards, but their power is less. I think that will be something. Anyway, if a card with 6 or more power has been put into your banish zone this turn, cards you own lose blood debt during the end phase. So we've seen this blood debt thing, and the blood debt is like a negative attribute, right? So it's like you have to pay if you have cards with blood debt in your zone. You have to pay 1 life, and so Levia basically makes that negative obsolete if you've banished a card with 6 or more, which you're going to be doing a lot with Brute. I really think that this is going to be a very, very, very good deck. Cards like Beast Within really play well with this. There's a lot of really good Brute cards that are going to be able to banish stuff, and it's going to be really good. So I think Levia is amazing, and then obviously like the artwork, which is kind of blown up on my screen, is just amazing. It is... you guys need to go look at these actual spoilers from these actual people. Like Rabrad had like the whole video going on in the background. There's also, if I pop it up here, there's also a really, really, really good, a really, really good, what's it called? A really good article on Fab TCG as well that talks about the actual hero. So if you go to heroes here and go to the heroes of Fab, you can actually read all about Levia. I mean, just look at how freaking cool she is. They've got a whole thing, so go read it. We'll do some sort of thing later. We don't have time in this video for that. We're going to do just kind of talking through the spoilers, but make sure you go do that for yourself. There's a really good article with a story. It's got great, cool artwork. It's really good. Levia is going to make huge waves, I think, in the meta. It's going to be really good. Okay. Let's move on to, then we had a bunch of Brute Shadow stuff. So this is, I believe that this was the one from EU Facebook page. This may have been the one from the website, Fab TCG. I know the rest of them, but all right. Convulsions from the Bellows of Hell. As an additional cost to play Convulsions of the Bellows of Hell, let's call it CBH. Okay, this card, everyone, we're going to call this CBH. Okay. Banish 3 random cards from your graveyard. So again, Brutes are going to be wanting to put things into their graveyard. They're going to want to be banishing things. They're going to want cards of 6 in their graveyard in order to get banished. They are already trying to discard cards of 6. Now they want cards of 6 in their graveyard so that they can banish them. If a card with 6 or more is banished this way, the next attack action card you play this card gains 3 and dominate. And you go again. And you go again. And so, I mean, like, sorry, this card has to go in. That was excessive, me laughing at that. First off, I love the borders. I love that I love what they're doing. They're saying that, this is the Shadow Brute is from, from the demonastery. I can't say that. Anyway, but this card is great. Again, it works really good with this will be kind of, I think, like the premier card in that set. This is, the rare that you'll have at least your 2 colors of, maybe in Classic Constructed, you'd run all 3 of them. Because this is exactly what Shadow Brute's going to want to be doing. And look at that freaking artwork. It looks so cool. Oh my gosh, it looks so cool. So this is everything I think that Shadow Brute wants to be doing. This will be a card that will be, in the deck, running, a lot of, and it works really well with Levia too. I mean, you are moving cards from your graveyard to your banish zone. I think that this card will see a lot of play. So we're gonna call it CBH though, so we don't have to like read that giant text name. Okay, let's go into the Shadow of the Blasmo Pet. So a bunch of these were on the website. That one, I don't know, a bunch of them were on the website, a bunch of them were on the EU Facebook page, and I don't have access to that. So one of these was on the EU Facebook page. Shadow of the Plasma Pet. Draw a card and then discard a random card. If a card with 6 or more was discarded this way, search your deck for a card with Blood Debt, banish it, and then shuffle your deck. So draw a card, then discard a random card, right? This is, again, doing everything that Brute does, discarding cards. If a card with 6 or more, which should be almost all your deck at this point, now that you have an increased card pool into Shadow Brute cards and regular Brute cards, you will be able to increase your card pool to probably have only cards with 6, right? Search your deck for a card with Blood Debt, right? Banish it, it's probably going to have 6, and then shuffle your deck. So you get to attack for 6, you get to put a card in your graveyard, you get to lose Blood Debt, and you get to play these big cards that have this negative trait of Blood Debt without having to pay. So typically, you would have another Blood Debt card. So my point here is that you will be able to kind of continuously have these kind of non-happening things because of Levia. Like, you won't have to pay the Blood Debt as a result of the amazing static ability of Levia. Let me read this one more thing. I just saw this as I was reading. If Shadow of Plasma Pet is and you banish them, you lose 1. Sorry, I just got confused there. But yeah, so exactly. So you are trying to get rid of this negative effect of having Blood Debt, which will be easy with Levia in this set, I think. It's going to be really cool. Drafting this is going to be so much fun, and so is doing Sealed. I can't wait. So Shadow of the Plasma Pet, I love the artwork too. The artwork in the set is just absolutely... Look, you have like a little, I think a little dragon is the Plasmo Pet? Plasmo Fet. It's not Pet, Plasmo Fet. Anyway, is that like a dragon in the background? I don't know. Kind of looks like it. This artwork gives me callbacks to like, what's that game? Skyrim, like the beginning action scene of Skyrim that everyone's played a million times. All right, let's go to Endless Maw. This one was definitely on Fab TCG website. As an additional cost to play Endless Maw, this is a 6 attack. Again, everything's 6 in Brute. Costs 3. Banish 3 random cards from your graveyard. So if your graveyard is full of 6 cost cards, you are going to trigger Levia every time. I'm telling you, you will be able to trigger Levia every turn, and you'll never have to play the Blood Debt. That's going to be huge. This seems like it's, this seems like kind of a boring one, but when you see what the Blood Debt cards do, it makes it so good. Like that, I love it. So let's go back to Endless Maw. So if a card with 6 or more is banished this way, Endless Maw gains +3. So again, this will give it +3, and then there's another one that gives it +3. What was it? CBH gives it +3. There's just a lot of things that are equaling up to like 9 attacks, and then if you mix these with like the other Brute stuff that's already 9, like you're gonna get, it's gonna be great. Brute's gonna be, I cannot wait to play Shadow Brute. I'm so stoked. The other one, if we get a light mech or a dark or a shadow mech, I'll be very interested in playing that too. I think that's what we'll get. Anyway, Endless Maw, the artwork looks sweet. Again, I love the border. I love the action. I love the Blood Debt stuff. It's really cool. All right, then we got a non-shadow Brute card. So this is just a Brute card that, again, based on what he said, like this card can go in every deck, every Brute deck. Shadow Brute deck and non-Shadow Brute deck. So pretty cool to see that they are still supporting the other heroes, even though this set apparently doesn't have like the regular classes in it. So this is pulping. This says draw a card, then discard a random card. If a card with 6 or more is discarded this way, pulping gains dominate. While pulping is defended by 2 or less non-equipment cards, it gains go again. So a very, very classic Brute card here. Another really just good card for the deck. Another, like, look at the artwork. Like, are you inside of that tiger that's getting just pulped, like demolished? It is freaking awesome. Anyway, so another just classically good Brute card that just adds to the card pool for Brutes to kind of figure out what is that balance. I love that there are less cards that are like rolling. Like Brute in my mind is becoming less about luck and more about building this kind of skilled deck that will kind of line up to like be a better play experience rather than what is currently just luck. So that'll be interesting to see. I love that it's giving it dominated. It's another 6 card. Everything's perfect. I mean, this is going to fit really well in any draft format too, the seal format, because it is a rare. So if you do decide to play Levia, you will be seeing this card a lot. You will be seeing Endless Maw a lot, and they've worked pretty well together. So I like to see that. All right, and now we are getting into the cards that were. So I must have missed one of those. It's hard to keep up with who spoils what, honestly. Anyway, let's see. I know that this one was Flesh and Bones. So Lunatide Plunderer. So Lunar Tide Plunderer. First off, like, look how freaking sweet. Again, the artwork and everything is just super good. Is this Flesh and Bones? Or is this one Flesh and Bones? Oh man, let's go look. Let's do this right, Louis. Come on, do this right. It's just hard to keep up with everybody. I mean, everyone's doing so many things. You wanna give everybody the credit. Let's look at Flesh and Bones, what he had. Yeah, so it's Lunar Tide Plunderer. This is a shadow action, so again, the shadow brutes can play it, all that kind of thing. Yeah, this is Flesh and Bones. I'm sorry, I just wanted to make sure I was right. I didn't want to give the wrong credit to the wrong person. Anyway, so this is great. Like, again, it's a 6, right? It's a 6 for that shadow brute deck. Like, that thing's gonna be really good. And then if it hits a hero, banish it and up to 1 card from their soul. So you get to banish a 6, triggering Levia, right? You're banishing this card. If it hits, banish it. You get to trigger Levia. Let's go back to Levia. Remember, if a card with 6 or more has been put into your banish zone, you lose blood debt because this hit. So your opponent's not going to want this to hit. And you get to banish up to 1 card from their soul. So this is one of those cards that I was talking about, like the soul mechanic apparently won't be utilized for every deck. Like, you might be playing Dorinthia without soul, without having any cards in their soul. So you might not want to play this card in your deck as a result of not playing against a soul hero or a light hero. That being said, it still fits decently well in the deck because it's still a 6 cost, which is really important. And so I wanted to highlight that as well. So it's a good card. I mean, it's attacking for 7 on the red, 6 for the yellow, and 5 for the blue. I doubt that you would want to use the blue because then you won't get the Levia trigger. Probably people will use this as a 7 attack, which seems pretty good. But it'll be interesting to see how the yellow one plays out. The yellow one seems like it could fit pretty well too, because you get that extra little pitch if you needed it, but it also hits for 6. So interesting to see that. Make sure you go subscribe to Flesh and Bones channel. He's doing a great job of putting out regular content. All right, then we've got Ghostly Visit. And Ghostly Visit, let's see what that one was from. I think this was Dark Spheres. Again, I just want to make sure that I'm giving everybody the credit. No, Ghostly Visit was different. Oh, hold on. They just spoiled theirs 1 hour ago. They were late? I don't understand. All right, we're going to not talk about that one yet. So this was not theirs. We'll talk about that one tomorrow. This must have been Classroom Cafeterias. So this was Classroom Cafeterias. You may banish Ghostly Visit from your banish zone. What? Oh my! You can play Ghostly Visit from your banish zone. Blood debt. So I wish this had 6 because you don't really want to be. This is probably going to be just for sealed. You don't really want to be banishing cards that are less than 6 because that doesn't trigger Levia, right? But it is nice to be able to play it from your banish zone. My guess is that this is going to be mostly used for sealed and for draft. But blood debt for another exciting card in order to kind of get the shadow. And maybe this card is less for the brute and it's more for the next shadow hero. If we only get 2, like if we only get shadow and light, then, which is kind of my guess of what we get, then this might be for the other shadow. Like if this is for a shadow mech, maybe that 4 plays better in a shadow mech deck. That could be what's on the card. Can we see? Let's see what other. I don't know. It doesn't look like a. I don't know. It doesn't look like a mech, so I doubt it's that. It'll be interesting. We'll see. I bet you this card gets better as the week goes. All right, and then this was Classroom Cafeteria, and now we got Bronson's Blood. Dude, Bronson, love you, buddy. Rally the Rear Guard, and we saw this. This card became a meme, which is kind of funny. Rally the Rear Guard is a 2 cost. It is a generic attack action, and it deals 6 damage, right? But you can use this card for defense, so it defends for 2, and then you can choose once per turn instant while this card is defending. you can discard a card and rally the rear guard gains +3 defense. So you can only do that while it's defending. So essentially, and Bronson made a good point of this in his video, you can make your Fabled into a 3-block, right? If you don't need your Eye of Ophidia, you can use this to block, whatever. You can basically pump your block with the cards that don't block, and this is why I was a little worried about seeing so many instants in the game, but this card makes those instants a little bit more intentional because instants don't have a regular blocking. But if you throw these in your deck, if you're going to run a lot of instants, this generic attack action might be pretty valuable in your deck, as it gives you the ability to kind of have a big blocking turn if you need it. So, but also be able to attack for 6 for 2 is pretty decent. So all in all, it's a really good card. Really, I think it'll again see a ton of sealed play. I think a lot of these cards right now are really highlighted in the sealed environment or in the draft environment. And a 2 cost for 6 is pretty good. And again, it's got good static ability. It's got good artwork. Bronson did a great job. If you're interested in more of his takes on it, go watch his video, because he did a good job of spoiling that. So all in all, really, really good. We got a lot of cool cards. Levia really was the highlight today. It'll be interesting to see like how many weeks it takes for us to get each hero, and what will we see. We've seen some of the photos spoiled, I think, of one of the light heroes maybe. All in all, the market is also reacting to this too. I'll talk a little bit later about Beast Within really like dried up on the market as a result of this. I talk about that in my box opening video. So lots of cool stuff going on. I can't wait to spoil my card on Saturday for you guys. And I hope you guys have a great day. Remember to be kind to the people around you. And Monarch spoilers this week's gonna be nuts. This whole thing's gonna be nuts. I hope you're doing good. I hope you're enjoying it all. And it's awesome.